How's it going, everybody out there? So this is going to be a bit of a different video. I don't really talk about this type of stuff this much here, but I feel that other individuals may benefit from it. I'm always open about a variety of things, from my beliefs to fitness, family, in some cases political views if asked. But I always feel that, if we share testimonies, somebody else may be able to benefit from it. I feel that we all go through things for a specific reason, for a specific purpose, not just for us, but for our peers, for those around us, because some people just simply do not know how to handle specific situations. Sometimes it takes them seeing other people go through the deep waters, go through the trials of fire, for them to have somewhat of an idea to create their own personal blueprint of coping with issues. Some individuals in this world, actually not some, a lot of people, I'd say, suffer from depression. Depression is one of those things that I don't think people look at deep enough. It's a word that we use when we feel bad or things just aren't going our way. People tend to utilize the word depression, when depression is so much more than just feeling bad. There is a core root to the issue. Without talking too much about it, I would like to tackle or try to make an attempt to tackle the root of depression or mental exhaustion, I say, by stating that a lot of the problems that we have are because of our mental capacity. A number of years ago, I found myself tired, like for no reason at all, just tired. In my my late 20s, just tired. And I just couldn't really quite put my finger on why I was so tired. I would call myself getting some sleep, 6 or 7 hours. I know it's not ideally 8, but very few people actually get 8 hours. My nutrition was not tailored in a way that would cause me to feel drained. So I just wondered, why am I so tired all the time? What is wrong with me? So I started just doing research on other avenues of exhaustion that did not relate to nutritional deficiency or inadequate sleep, but more so along the lines of mental exhaustion. I came across phrases like adrenal fatigue, which is the adrenal glands being taxed heavily by being overstimulated. Utilizing things like coffee, pre-workout, stuff like that can just wreak havoc on our adrenal glands. So I did research on that type of stuff. And then I started, looking at other things. Our minds are always racing, even when you are asleep. You're not completely unaware. Though you are unconscious, your brain never stops working. You can think so heavily, so deeply, so much on a daily basis that it literally physically makes you exhausted. It makes you tired. It does not matter whether you have gotten 8 hours of sleep. It doesn't matter whether you're eating 600 grams of carbohydrates. It doesn't matter whether you're fully hydrated. All of these things, they don't matter if your mind is exhausted and it's tired. I personally feel like we live in a day and age to where we are constantly being pulled in several different directions when it comes to how we think, what we think about. I feel that we are easily persuaded now more than ever. I know I am, on certain issues. And I just feel like our attention is constantly getting pulled from the left to the right, north, south, day and night. We just never stop thinking. We never stop using our minds. We never stop tapping into comprehension, strategically planning sentences behind one another. We just don't stop doing these things. And it's just, nowadays, I just feel that we don't ever take a step back to give ourselves a break. And when you don't give yourself a break, you tend to go in overdrive. You get tired, you get worn out, and you get upset because, quite frankly, you cannot figure out why you're so tired. You can't figure it out. But yet the society that we live in requires us to utilize our brains 24/7. This is the age of information. That's a good thing and a bad thing, because not all information is true information. Some of it is false information. Then we have to decipher between what is real and what is fake news and the truth. We have to figure out what's what and then cling to it, investigate this, that, and the third. I think it's good that we have an opportunity to do so, but because we see so much out in the open, we have to constantly think and utilize our minds. We have to come up with all different type of arguments to defend our stances, this, that, and the third. And it's exhausting. It's so tiring. Watch this video, watch that video, read this article, read that article. Get involved with this thread, that thread. Social media is a battleground itself for the mind. People have stayed up to 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning arguing with individuals online over political issues, over religious issues, over technology, all different type of stuff, arguing back and forth with one another. All while the eyes, the brain, constantly being stimulated by those LED lights from the screen on your smartphone, which basically keeps you from going to sleep. And then you're sleeping 3 to 4 hours, getting up working 8 hours, also taxing the brain. All of these things combined really wreaks havoc on a person. You know what I'm saying? It really breaks a person down, because if this isn't working properly, nothing works properly. Nothing. And the littlest things begin to make you mad and upset, and you can't figure out feeble things, and then that frustrates you. And then that's when you start finding yourself falling into little bitty tents of despair, and despair ends up turning into depression if it's not identified quick enough. You know something? The reason I'm making this video is because I'm not going to say I've mastered it, but I know when I feel mentally tired. And personally for me, I feel like I'm at that point. This has been an extremely mentally taxing year. I mean, oh my gosh, it has just been so overwhelming this year. For me, it was really bad around the months of March and April. Really bad. Until I decided to take a step back. And then I started feeling better. A lot of people fell into depression this year. And some people have even committed suicide because of depression. Now, I can honestly say, by the grace of God, I have never felt depressed. Ever. I mean, I've had my moments of feeling like down and frustrated, but I've never ever felt like I was full-blown depressed. And I know some people out there who have gone into full-blown depression. Full-blown depression is deadly on all levels. There's nothing good about it. And if you're somebody out there who is depressed, I urge you, reach out to somebody that you can trust and talk to. Reach out to the Lord. You might not be a believer, but let me tell you something. Sometimes He's the only one that can get you up out of depression. Okay, I feel that we don't give ourselves enough of a break away from society. There's only so much we can do to separate ourselves from society. A lot of us have to go to work. We have to go out into the world. We have to interact with individuals. But there are some things that are within our control, like how much screen time we utilize. Watching YouTube videos, because a lot of that, though it can be informative, some of it is very toxic. It is a double-edged sword. Let's go ahead and say that YouTube is basically the primary way of watching TV, because we don't watch TV no more. Nobody watches television anymore. You know, it's all YouTube. So I feel like we should reduce our time period on there. I know I definitely need to. Same thing with social media, Facebook, Instagram, constantly looking at the lives of other people, constantly comparing ourselves with every other person's situation, which is very dangerous as well to the mind. Always feeling like you can't get ahead and this person gets ahead. They have this, they have that, and I got this. How many of us have been in this situation? You know, once again, utilizing the mind in an unnecessary manner. If it's one thing I've learned about social media, I've learned to not take it literally, because it is only the highlight reels of a person's life. It's never the hard times, it's never the struggles, it's never anything of that nature. It's always what they want you to see. And that plays tricks on a person who literally in real life may be having it hard. So do yourself a favor and log out. You know, I like to take hiatuses here and there. I got back on Facebook a couple of days ago, almost about a week ago, and I had stayed off for almost about 12 to 15 days. And to be honest with you, I think I'm gonna have to do it again, because, like I said, it's just mentally draining for me. So here's the challenge for everybody out there. If you're somebody out there who feels like you are mentally exhausted, I challenge you to take some time off of social media. Facebook, Instagram, everything, even YouTube. For me, YouTube is probably gonna be the hardest, because I watch a lot of great information, but I would just have to find another source. That's all. It shouldn't be that hard. But I promise you, if you take yourself out of the equation of social media and start focusing what is on, in front of you, focusing on reality, focusing on your family, your friends, your real friends, focusing on your work, your brand, your craft, working on yourself, you will notice that you begin to feel a lot better. Maybe try reading more. Adopt reading, adopt some books, stuff like that. Take up hobbies, things like that. Once upon a time, there was no such thing as, the internet. There was no such thing as social media. That stuff didn't exist. And people were less and less depressed. I'm not going to say depression did not last back in the days, but it definitely was not to the point where we feel that we need to be heavily medicated to regulate depression, okay? It was not to the point that we feel that we need to take medication to alleviate things of that nature and to raise serotonin levels, okay? People just didn't do that back in the day, but now it's a thing, and it's sad. It really is. All right, y'all. Hope y'all felt this video. Maybe you got something from it. Maybe you didn't. I personally just think that the mind is everything. The mind is who you are. Your mind, your soul, that is who you are. We have to guard it by all means. We have to take care of it by any means necessary. We cannot let anything or anybody ruin our peace and violate something that is sacred to us, okay? So take that. Hopefully it helps somebody out there. Again, if you're battling with depression, if you're battling with mental exhaustion, take those steps. Peace.